Okay, here we are. Welcome back to Let's Play Metal Gear Solid 4. We have just defeated Crying Wolf on Shadow Moses Island in the snowfield, where we had there's a hind back from Metal Gear Solid. Liquid was piloting that, attacking Snake while he was on the roof of the communications tower. He shot it down with a Stinger missile. This is apparently where it landed. Well, we had fought Sniper Crying Wolf in the area where we had fought Sniper Wolf back in Metal Gear Solid. And we're about to move down into the basement where Metal Gear Rex was located.
Hold it, Snake. Time to change the disc.
What?
I know, it's a pain. But you need to swap disc 1 for disc 2. You see the disc labeled 2?
No.
Huh? Oh, wait. We're on PlayStation 3. It's a Blu-ray disc. Dual layered, too. No need to swap.
Damn it, Otacon. Get a grip.
Yeah, what an age we live in, huh, Snake? Wonder what they'll think of next.
The game's just making fun of itself a little bit there. Back in Metal Gear Solid, at the point which you had defeated Sniper Wolf and moved down into the basement, into this room here, was where you were prompted to switch to Disc 2. And you had to, but in Metal Gear Solid 4, you don't need to do that because, well, as Otacon said, the entire game is stored on a 50 gigabyte Blu-ray disc, which is plenty big enough to store pretty much any game that would have come out in this generation. Shooting that bird was a bit of a mistake, wasn't it? Now we have gone into the blast furnace. Now back in Metal Gear Solid, this room was a smelting base. They were smelting steel here. It was a foundry. I guess it's where they were fabricating parts to build Metal Gear or something like that. Since there's no one here now, the place has been abandoned for a decade, the blast furnace is not in operation, so the entire place has gone cold. So Snake can wander around and walk into a number of places he wasn't capable of going into before. Chaff grenades, gotta love them. Like down here. Had Snake gone down here back in Metal Gear Solid, he would have died immediately. Too hot. Not only can you access areas like that, which you couldn't in the first game, or back in Metal Gear Solid, there were a couple of little changes that occurred in the blast furnace that did not exist back in Metal Gear Solid. For example, back in MGS you had to go through this elevator directly to the back. Now, I would suspect that this is probably the best way to get down there. Whereas, you were led into an area with an elevator which took you down at like a 45-degree angle. Then it stopped at one point and you moved on to another elevator and it took you down the rest of the way. And you ended up basically with a hallway which took you to the feet of Metal Gear. Now, I guess maybe that elevator might not be in operation or something like that, but we're not even trying here. Instead, what we're doing is going down to this other elevator, which simply did not exist back in Metal Gear Solid. And this will take us to a new room, an area which we did not get to see back in Metal Gear Solid. We've got to access this elevator, which is apparently in operation.
Snake, I've got something to tell you about Naomi Hunter. What about her? She might be a spy. To kill me? Is that all you cared about?
Frank Yeager. The man who you destroyed was my brother and my only family.
Gray Fox.
You killed my benefactor and sent my brother home a cripple. I vowed revenge.
But I can't go yet. I still have a job to do.
I vowed revenge.
that was a quick conversation that Snake had with Master Miller, who was actually Liquid in disguise. He had discovered that Naomi wasn't who she said she was, and he was trying to inform Snake, I guess, for distrust issues or some crap like that. It's not relevant right now. But I think this is the reason why they make you go into this area as opposed to taking the path that you took back in Metal Gear Solid. Because this is a much larger room with a lot more obstacles. It's not a narrow corridor, which gives us the opportunity to fight a couple of Gecko. It also doesn't have 2 long, slow elevator rides. We don't have to deal with that. Huh. Now in this area we'll find 2 or 3 full-sized Gecko, positioned in various points. And the path that I'm taking isn't the only way to get through, but it's the way that I usually do it. I think it's the best. You'll also find a number of Dwarf Gecko right here. And these guys are actually easier to get by than the ones that we had encountered back in the tank hangar. Now the Dwarf Gecko are the most pain-in-the-ass enemy in the game. I really don't get why they thought it was a good idea to include these things. Because when, for the most part, this entire game, it's been altered enough from the previous games to make combat a reasonable option. Snake is much better at shooting than he was in the earlier games. The camera's positioned behind you. If you get into a pinch, shooting your way out is a reasonable solution to a problem, which wasn't really a possibility back in the earlier Metal Gear games, because every enemy you kill would simply be replaced within a couple of seconds. In this game, they sort of train you that it is possible to gun your way through a situation, but not with the Dwarf Gecko. You gun a Dwarf Gecko down, and another one immediately replaces it after like 3 or 4 seconds. And you get swarmed by these damn things so quickly, it is maddening having to fight the Dwarf Gecko. And there are usually so many of them in an area that can be difficult to avoid them. So I'm not really a fan of the Dwarf Gecko being a part of the game. It's just not something that I'm thrilled about. Okay, where we are going next... Well, this is basically taking us back on the same path that we had taken back in Metal Gear Solid.
It's just up ahead. The hangar's just a little bit further. Stay en route.
In this area back in Metal Gear Solid, there are obviously no Dwarf Gecko, but there were a number of those sentry turrets that were mounted on the walls. And you could either throw a chaff grenade, or you could just run through really quick, because they will not cause an alert phase, but they will shoot at you. In this case, the Dwarf Gecko are positioned in a number of the same places that the sentry turrets were. But they don't have any guns, so they're just going to attack, they're just going to jump all over you. They're also positioned in a lot of the places that, like right here, it's difficult to get past this one. So I'm going to shoot my way through a couple of these. Boom. And we've been alerted. Now I'm going to get caught into this horrible little situation where I'm going to be killing a whole bunch of the Gecko.
Dwarf Gecko!
And you're going to see what I mean.
Attack!
How you can't shoot your way out of a situation because it's not going to help you. Yep. Time to get some auto fire. Now a chaff grenade could get me out of this situation. I throw the chaff, Dwarf Gecko get confused, and then the alert phase goes away while they're all scurry-headed, and we can get through the door. Or we could stand up here on this balcony and just go crazy with a fucking machine gun. Of course, the Dwarf Gecko are not terribly difficult to destroy individually. I can stand here and gun these things down until I run out of ammo while I get a ridiculous number of kills, but it's not going to help us out gameplay-wise. One of them had a gun, it looks like. Alright, let's get out of here. Oh, yeah. Gotta love some needless gunplay. Let's get out of here. Now, does this look familiar? Nostalgia.
Hop on, Snake. I'll send her up. Rex. Look, the railgun's been removed. Liquid doesn't need the whole Rex to launch his nuke. He only needs the railgun.
Damn it. Has it already been shipped?
Hang on, I'll check.
I'm afraid so. Unfortunately for you, the railgun is no longer here.
Naomi.
This place will be your grave, as my queen wishes. The suicide gecko are on their way. Soon, there'll be nothing left of this place.
We've been had. Otacon.
Snake, I think I might be able to get it working. I just need some time.
Hurry.
I'll leave the rest to you.
Naomi.
Excellent. You'll amuse me until they arrive.
Okay, it's time to fight Vamp, and it's the first time we're actually gonna fight him gameplay-wise in this game. Snake had shot him down at one point earlier in the
I'll
game,
take care
and
of Rex. You take Vamp. Kill that monster. Get Naomi back, Snake. Please.
Railgun fought him back in the South Africa. But this is the first time that Snake is really having a gameplay battle against the Vamp. And he was fought a couple of times back in Metal Gear Solid 2. But it's basically a deal that Vamp has nanomachines inside of his body that Naomi created. And it's basically keeping him alive, which is an explanation for his regenerative abilities. Now, it does make it seem like Vamp is, in fact, invincible. This is also kind of a weird, lower-key battle than the boss battle in the kind of things we had faced before. Previously, all of the boss battles that we had faced have been against the B&B units. Powerful things wearing machinery, and they're flying around, blowing stuff up and all that. In this case, we have a fairly large area to fight this one guy, jumping around on top of things. It's not like we're taking out a Metal Gear or anything in this room. Now, we do have to take him down and I'll give Otacon the ability or the time to go and reactivate Metal Gear Rex. Now, Liquid has already been here, and he has removed the part that he wanted. He didn't want the entire machine. He doesn't want Rex anymore. He just wanted the Railgun, because the Railgun was the machine that gave him the ability to launch an undetectable, non-SOP-coded nuclear missile. And doing that, he'd be able to take out the Patriots' AI, and he'd be able to take control of the system, because GW, the AI that he had acquired after the Big Shell incident, would then be promoted to being in the lead of the entire system. And he basically get control of the entire world. Take him down. I wonder how it relates, like, characters like Vamp ended up in the service of Liquid. Because he wasn't explicitly under Liquid's command back in Metal Gear Solid 2. Neither was Naomi, for that matter. But she seems to have switched sides. Oh, got him.
You did it, Snake!
Son of a bitch. Oh, wait, what? No! Take him out. Okay, we're gonna have to do this again. He regenerated. Haha. Now he's gonna... The way Vamp fights is really irritating. Snake, despite being, like, probably one of the best CQC people in the world, he really can't go and do close quarters combat with Vamp here. Vamp will always do some crazy move and take him down. His way of attacking from distance is he throws knives, which can be not terribly hard to dodge, so long as you have a big enough TV that you can see the things coming. Oh, wow. See, Otacon has a special interest in seeing Vamp die, because Vamp was the one that killed his stepsister, Emma, back in Metal Gear Solid 2. Stabbed her in the chest. She died then. And it was assumed that at the time that Vamp was dead because Raiden had shot him through the head, and he landed in the Hudson River.
He keeps regenerating! What do we do? What do we do?
Okay, after the point that Otacon says it's no use, he keeps regenerating, that's when you actually gain the ability to defeat Vamp. And this is what you have to do. Remember that the nanomachines are what gives Vamp the ability to regenerate. Syringes that we have disabled nanomachines. So, here we go.
What have you done?
There. Now you're a mere mortal, like the rest of us.